Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for hanging out. I'm just gonna synthesize a patch here. Thank you so much for the subscribers. I really wanted to thank you all for your support. I hit 7,000, so we all hit 7,000 subscribers. I know people make a big deal about the subscriber count, so I'm gonna make a big deal over the subscriber count. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm just gonna play around here with one of my favorite synthesizers. I know some of you are turned off. Oh my god, he's using Massive, it's so old. Yes, I'm an old cat. Started messing around with Massive, I think, as early as 2007-ish. I still use it every now and then, but you know, it's a good synthesizer. Anyways, let's do a bit of sound design. If you guys want to follow along, you don't necessarily have to pull out Massive. If you've got another one, Serum, Vital, whatever, Diva, it's all the same. No, it's not, but you know what I mean. We're going to keep things really basic here. I'm going to turn off oscillator 2 and 3, focus on the first one. And, you know, this is a good thing when it comes to knowing the basics with sound design. It doesn't really matter what synth you're using. I mean, most of them will have some a few different parameters and modules and routing schemes, but overall, especially with Synthwave, you try to keep things basic and you know the principles of sound design. So first things first, let's pick our waveform. This is somewhere between, now you can hear this is a saw, this is more square, so I'm going to go for the saw. All right, sawtooth, and route it to filter numero uno. So we lost some volume here. Set the mix to 1. All right, this is picking up on filter 2, so that's not what we want. We want mix 1. And this is, of course, our master control. All right. Let's go ahead and bend this guy. Now, you won't hear a difference. You're going to have to apply some type of modulator, or you know, like an envelope to it. And just for a reference, this particular synth, well, the envelope number 4 is routed to the amp. So if you want to alter the ADSR of the amp, you're gonna have to turn to envelope number 4. For instance, if you want to increase the release, now you can do so. All right, just keep that in mind. A lot of people used to have a lot of trouble with that back in the early days. Yes, I'm dating myself. Anyways, coming back to this little module here, oscillator 1. Let's apply envelope number 1 to the intensity knob here, and you do that by selecting this little box here. You grab this little anchor and you drop it right here. And I'm gonna basically move it around until I get something pretty cool. All right, seeing it's a bass patch, let's go to voices and select something like mono. So basically 1 note at a time. Can't play 2 notes. When it was polyphony, I set to polyphonic. Okay, that's not what we want for a bass patch. We want something like, you know. All right. Let's apply a filter. Let's say low pass. Very Trevor something. He loves doing stuff like this. Okay, anyways. And let's use envelope 2 to modulate this little guy here. Okay, so again, same principle. I'm going to grab that anchor. And already sounds pretty cool. Sexy boy. A really popular song back in the day. Anyways. Sexy boy. If you want it a little more plucky, this level really refers to the sustain. nice and full and rich. I'm going to open this up just a little bit. And let me see. All right, I'm going to apply a second oscillator here. All right, this one will be more along the lines of a sine. I'm going to bump up the amp and maybe drop it by an octave. Yeah. All right, I'm going to lower the volume here. Let me reinstantiate oscillator 2. Without it. Cool. Let me bump up the release. Now, for those of you wondering, well, I don't hear much of a release on the tail. Some of you may have caught that the second envelope here, the release is so short that it's cutting off the amp, right? So the amp is set to a long release, but you won't really hear it too much. Why is that? Because this guy, which is cutting off the filter, is really short. So I'd have to increase this a little for it to be heard, okay? Always trips up a lot of people. It used to trip me up all the time. All right, let's add some noise to this now. Let's use simple white noise. You don't have as many options like, let's say, serum, but I'm going to stick to white noise, crank up the amp. And boost this. This refers to the color. You'll hear that this is darker. Let me disengage oscillator 1 and 2. A little darker, brighter, super bright. Okay, so I want the brightness here. All right, and I'm going to apply it to the sound, and I'm going to route it to filter number 1. Okay, you don't hear it now because it's going to filter 2, which is not really active, but here it is. Okay. Nice little sound. Let's keep going. Let's add some effects here. Don't want to get too fancy, too crazy. And let's see if we can add an insert. Some of my favorites used to be the sine shaper. Very Trentmoller. All right, let's add some effects here. Firstly, EQ, boost the highs and the lows. But you gotta be careful. You gotta kind of hear what you're doing here. So you hear that nasal sound, that sort of. This is about 1K, I think. All right. Now you're like 2K. This is 4K. All right. If you don't believe me, let's run it through the test, man. Let's see what you know what you're talking about. So I'm thinking this is 4K. If you look at the diagram here, I'm really going to boost this. So this is about 1K. Right, so right here. This is about 3K. So I was off by like 1,000 hertz, but still within the ballpark, okay? It's always a good idea when you're doing your sound design to have some kind of analyzer. I usually like to use my ears. This is in that muddy region. We don't want too much of this. Let's move on to something else. Let's pick Dimension Expander. This was a classic sound. I think a lot of drum and bass producers back in the early or mid 2000s, mid 2000s, 2007, 8, they used to use this this particular sound. right, this might be a little much. So what I'm going to do is use another envelope here, maybe assign it to the dry wet control. Let's move on to the voices here. Let's crank this up. Thicken up the sound here, activate the pan position, you get a wider sound. You can do this to taste. I'm gonna play with this, maybe pitch cutoff. Now this was a sound you used to hear a lot. All right, we're not gonna do too much of that, as tempting as this may be. Already sounding really cool. Let's go ahead and mess around with some of the ring modulation, or maybe the phase. Okay, not too much of this. Reminds me of that 2 Unlimited song. Okay, let's see if we can, I always like to use a Arpeggiator, and just for inspiration. I have a kick drum here, kick drum. Let's see if we can add a compressor here, right here. All right, so let's sidechain it a bit. Add our little pumping effect here, just for. Alright, so I'm doing this just to get rid of some of that mud. You can hear this is what we were dealing with. Alright, so I'm scooping that out. Can even brighten it a little. Bump up the resonance. Man, I miss Massive. It was a really cool synth. Still is. I hear it in a couple songs, especially in Cold Wave, Dark Wave. crazy. See if we can get it to sound a little. A lot of guys used to use a Bronner, but I'm gonna try a chorus. Very cyberpunk. You know what, let's record this because I'm doing two things at once and I don't have a free hand here. Quantize. Something more like this. There you go. And what's really cool when you're using the Arpeggiator, I've done some tutorials on this, you can actually mess around with the gates here and get some different sounds. All right. Let's see if we can refine the sound a bit. Very techno-industrial for all my German guys here. All right, just a little roll off here at the bottom. All right, so I hope you guys are following along. I'm just kind of messing around here, playing around, showing you some things that you can actually apply irregardless of the synth that you are using. Let's mess with the routing here a bit. So what I'm doing is I'm just playing with the pitch bend, really simple stuff. I'm going to record what I'm doing with my left hand because you can't really see it. And hopefully I'll put it on the screen at the same time. Alright, just creating a sort of groove with it. Don't know if I'll stick with it. Let's keep going. Let's mess around with some of my drum sounds. stuff. Quantize real quick. We're not going to spend too much time on this. You can even cheat it and bring in this guy here. Setting it to a delay. Let's keep going. Let's mess around here. Nope, that's not what I want. There we go. Let's add a delay to this guy here. This make it sound sexy. Let's do a filter delay. Filter delay, bro. That's too much. We're not doing that. We're not trying to freak people out, make people think they're hearing things and shit. Let's do. Let's take it out of sync. Let's leave 1 millisecond on one channel. First of all, let's get rid of the dry. Set this to 0. Set this to 0. Before, very mono, actually pure mono, and now it's kind of stereo. You can increase the feedback, not too much though. All right, let's add an EQ here. I'm pretty sure there's some low frequency stuff. You know, sometimes I don't even apply this removal of the low end information. It's just whatever. And it just gives the track a bit more body, or maybe I'm just lazy and I don't want to do this all the time. Who knows? On s'en fout. Ah ouais, let's go là. Oh yeah, I'm hearing some stuff now. Soften the attack of the By the way, some of you have asked me about one-on-one coaching and stuff like that and analyzing your songs. If you guys are interested in that, just email me info@synthwavepro.com and we'll get into some deep synthwave sessions, just one-on-one, all right? Let's see, can we do a clap? Can we do a snare? Snare. Like these drums, these are from my Retrowave Miami drums. This one reminds me a lot of Scandroid. He uses a lot of like layers stuff. Je suis pas sûr là, not sure. Maybe as a layer. You know what? Let me rock a clap. Not feeling snares right now. Maybe some background. We did a tutorial last week on what was it called? Static something static. Yeah, some kind of static. Yeah, I think it was this static delay. I think it just sounded really cool. Make sure we're quantized here. We can darken the sound a bit, maybe add a little bit of saturation drive. Let's pan this guy. It sounds really sexy. Oh yeah, okay, so let's add an auto pan if I can find it. Yeah. And we're gonna add a auto filter. Ouais, c'est ça que je veux là. Let's just for the sake of simplicity. And let's automate this guy. This would have to be way lower because there's not much stuff going on here at like 12K. So let's just copy, maybe, you know what? I'll do it manually with, yeah, avec ma souris. Voila. There we go. Maybe even bump up the resonance, huh? For you German techno guys out there. Eso. All right, I'm not hearing that pan. Let's go. There we go, a little better. Need a bit of reverb here. What happens if I put the filter after the reverb? Meh. Cool. I don't want to get too carried away with that. There's a lot of things we could do, but let's... Alright, let's start messing around with some sounds here. A ver, ¿qué tenemos? We could use massive, but I'm sure some of you are turned off by it. But if you're not convinced that massive is a kick-ass synth by now, well, I don't know what, man. You're just louder. You're trying to convince me it's better now, Ableton. Is it better? What do you guys say? Okay, let's pick something a little... Oh, that didn't thicken up the sound. Too aggressive? Let's just roll with this. Yeah, already sounds better with these two guys active. Wouldn't say necessarily louder, just more harmonics. Yeah, for sure. Probably don't need this guy since I have the Saturator on it. Alright, this is a cool little trick. So you notice that the bass line is kind of jumpy here. It's hitting the limiter, right? But once you activate the Ableton Saturator, not so much the compressor, it's really the Saturator, it's almost clipping off the sound. You can see that the limiter here isn't really getting slammed that much. You know, this is a great way of keeping your tracks loud and avoiding clipping, you know, especially the Ableton Saturator. I don't know what they're doing with the algorithm, but it just works, you know, so just use it. Okay, lo. Let's add some reverb to this. Voila. Un petit peu de reverb. Ben simple, là. Really simple. Okay. I think this is getting a bit much. We can darken up this sound a bit. Voila. Yeah. Voila. All right, so where are we going with this? I don't know. No sé. Very Duran Duran. We're not doing that. Now let's do some plucks. These are sounds that I've created. No, we need more distortion. Some of you guys recognize this sound. I think we used it in the Retrowave masterclass, that song that we created from scratch. So you'll see I'll reuse a lot of my preset sounds over and over again. That particular song was more Retrowave, ethereal, and here we are using it in something way more aggressive, you know. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to leave this here for now. And yeah, you know what? I might continue this over at Patreon or maybe not. But yeah, so, you know, I just wanted to, the point of this lesson is just to, you know, have fun. And at the same time, I know a lot of people are so obsessed with particular synths and which is better. I mean, they're all great, you know. Some guys and gals are still using old school soft synths like Synth 1 and Massive. I wanted to pull out Massive today just because I had so many fond memories cutting my teeth when it came to sound design. And this is how I learned. I messed around with Massive in the early days of 2006, 2007. I think when it just came out, I was all over it. And it's too bad that I don't use it as much. But definitely. So anyways, I wanted to thank you guys for the 7,000 subscribers. I'm leaving you guys with a discount code down below if ever you want to check out some stuff on synthwavepro.com by the shop. We have some great presets, plugins, courses, bundles, whatever, all kinds of stuff. And now I am offering one-on-one. I don't like to say the word coaching. Some of you guys don't need coaching. Some of you guys are beginners, and I welcome beginners. Some of you guys just need a bit of fine tuning when it comes to your production ideas and execution. And I've been doing that for a while. I don't really advertise it, but here I am saying it now. All right. Links are down below if you're interested in that kind of stuff. And I don't bite. I'm a really nice guy. I really am. Anyways, that's it, guys. If you have any questions or just want to say, hey, what's up? You know what to do. With that said, I'll see you in the next one. Au revoir.